In the game of Android TV devices, there are only a few options out there. The Shield TV Pro, in my opinion, is the best. So I decided to take matters into my own hands and built a DIY Raspberry Pi and loaded it with Android TV. Can it compare with the Shield? Let's find out. If you're into streaming devices like Roku, Amazon Fire TV, or Apple TV, this video is going to be right up your alley. Today, we're comparing the NVIDIA Shield TV Pro, which could very well be your next big upgrade or a fresh alternative within your situation. And for those who enjoy getting hands-on and building things, we've got something exciting too, the Raspberry Pi Android TV project. I call it the silver bullet. The best part is that both options are pretty close in terms of pricing, so there's something here for everyone, whether you're looking for an easy upgrade or a fun DIY project. I stumbled upon NVIDIA Shield's TV Pro back in 2020 after hearing really great feedback from friends and the online community. I could not resist the FOMO, so I spent the $199 price of entry. This model has been around since 2019, so I'm curious about when NVIDIA might actually unveil its successor, but for now, let's dive into what this one has to offer. I want to make one thing crystal clear. This video is not sponsored by anyone. Everything we're discussing here is 100% out of pocket using my hard-earned coins. The Shield TV Pro is equipped with some noteworthy features. It's powered by NVIDIA's Tegra X1 Plus 16nm processor along with a 256-core GPU and 3 gigs of RAM and 16 gigs of internal storage. I know what you're probably thinking. 16 gigs? Luckily for you, you can expand that storage easily with a USB thumb drive or an external hard drive. If you really want to get wild, hook up your NAS to this and things will just go nuts. It offers a complete Android TV experience, so you get access to all your favorite apps and streaming services, including Plex. Yes, my friends, you heard it right. It's capable of running a Plex media server, turning it up to your very own personal Netflix-like streaming server that you could share with your friends. I'll cover how to set up Plex in a future video, so stay tuned for that. For you cinephiles, the Shield is 4K HDR ready and supports Dolby Vision HDR and HDR10, making sure your picture quality is always as crispy as possible. I do find the colors and quality of the picture really good when I use the Shield. One thing I was worried about, sound quality, because yes, I like my system sounding its best. Thankfully, the Shield supports Dolby Audio, including Atmos, DTS:X surround sound, high-res audio playback up to 24-bit 192 kHz over HDMI and USB. It can play FLAC and WMA lossless for all you audiophiles out there. Another cool feature is CEC Control, which allows you to use your TV remote to navigate the Shield TV Pro, making it even more user-friendly, even though I think the remote it came with should be standard for all remotes out there. I can't say I've seen a remote like this one before. It's heavier than your usual remote, coupled with its triangular design gives it a comfortable and, dare I say, luxurious feel to it.
This is so luxurious.
Thanks to the inclusion of an accelerometer, the remote can sense when you pick it up and the adjustable backlighting illuminates. This is handy when you're watching a movie in a dark room. It has an IR blaster to control volume and power on TVs, soundbars, or even receivers. It also comes ready with a microphone for voice search and commands for all you lazies out there. The Shield TV Pro offers a sleek and modern design that easily blends into your entertainment setup. It's compact and unobtrusive, so you won't need a lot of space for it. The build quality is a bit light and plasticky, not what I expected with such an awesome remote, so I could say it doesn't bode a lot of confidence in its overall durability. I would say for future models, beef it up a bit. Make it feel like you're holding a $200 piece of gear. On the rear of the unit, you'll find two Type-A USB 3.0 ports, a Gigabit Ethernet port, and a HDMI 2.0B port. This covers just about everything you could want or need from a device of this caliber. It does offer 2.4 GHz and 5 GHz Wi-Fi in case you don't want to or can't hardwire in. It also has Bluetooth 5.0 for all of you with Bluetooth devices. Now, even though NVIDIA is a heavyweight in the gaming world, they've positioned this product more as an Android TV contender than a gaming machine. That's why you won't find specs comparable to gaming consoles like the PS5 or Xbox One S, X, whatever. Personally, I already have a gaming PC and a PS5, so for me, the Shield is primarily a streaming device. Sure, you can turn it into an emulator and relive some classic gaming moments, but for the sake of this comparison, let's keep the focus on its media streaming capabilities. On paper, the Shield is quite impressive. It can literally play whatever you want to throw its way, in the best formats on the market, mind you. So why would I want to challenge all that with a Raspberry Pi? Well, because I wanted to waste my time. That's why. Why, oh why did I want to do this? Well, because in my pea-brain, I thought this could potentially best the Shield. In some ways it did. The RPI-4B, which is the board I use for this project, comes with a Broadcom BCM 2711 quad-core Cortex-A72 ARM-V8 64-bit SoC at 1.8 gigahertz. Now, what the hell is an SoC? It's a system on a chip, so your processor and video processing unit is attached via the ARM CPU all in one package. This board also comes with 4 gigs of RAM. If you had experience building a Pi before, you'll find this process to be really easy. I'm not going to show you how to do it all over again. I've done that too many times. Unlike other Pi projects, there are no additional components to worry about here. It's just the Pi and the case. I specifically opted for a case that's designed to keep the Pi cool without the need for any noisy, stupid fans. After all, this setup is going to be going in a place where I want it to be quiet. The last thing I want is a distraction of fan noise. Connectivity-wise, the Pi comes with a gigabit Ethernet port, 2 USB 3.0, 2 USB 2.0, 2 micro HDMI, that support 4K 60 frames per second. There is a micro SD card slot for loading the Lineage operating system, which is the platform for the Android TV. I found the instructions online, and, if you'd like for me to make a step-by-step outline or video about how to assemble the unit and how to load all the software, let me know below. I'll do it, but there are other options out there that are already out there. So I don't know if you want me to do it. I bought a cheap remote from Amazon and used a Logitech wireless keyboard, and both worked well with the unit. The remote is just a cheap plastic generic remote. Just caca remote. I suppose you could get a lot fancier with it. However, that wasn't my intention. I was trying to keep my, my finances low here. The thing with the Raspberry Pi is that it's upgradable. The Shield isn't. I could add components to the Pi that could theoretically make it more competitive to the Shield, tit for tat, but at the price point that it's at, we are under $100 for this build, and I want to keep it that way. Anything more than $100 without completely smoking the Shield would not be worth it. So let's get down to business. How did these two compare to one another?
Fight.
Both units provided, for the most part, buttery smooth movement through the app. The RPI did get a little laggy when adjusting the settings and stuff like that, but overall both performed very well in that respect. The software is almost identical, both being able to pull from the same content ecosystem, so neither really has the advantage there either. So having access to all those major streaming apps on both devices was cool. Android TV is very matter of fact. It does what it's supposed to do without the need for any additional crap that just bogs down the user experience. I don't like a lot of just crap in nonsense in my UI. I know what I want to accomplish, and I love how this operating system is able to do that for me. Ease of setup obviously must go to the Shield, since it's literally just plug and play. With the RPI, it's a process and a half. This is a huge advantage because, let's face it, we are all inherently lazy to a degree, and purchasing a solution that doesn't need much to set up is a huge value proposition. The overall looks of the units are debatable because I have seen people create some really cool stuff on their 3D printers for the RPIs. However, with that, what's available online for the Pi and how the Shield looks out of the box, I would yet again go with the Shield on this one. Sound quality was actually comparable. Both will essentially act as a pass-through to whatever device is, doing the processing, so both are very similar there. The Pis don't have hardware that will output discrete channels, but it will pass that stream to an external processor or amp. Setting audio pass-through to a compatible receiver that can handle decoding Atmos will indeed output Atmos. The Shield does natively support all the major codecs, so that does make it superior in the sense that it can decode pretty much anything and everything on its own. The picture quality is where this evaluation took a complete turn for the worse. I've seen better quality from the Amazon Fire Stick. Nothing against the Amazon Fire Stick. But compared to the Pi, yeah, I mean, the color on the Pi was just bland, and it had a slight distortion to it. Like when you're watching a 720p video on a huge, 75-inch screen, it was just gross. This machine is not meant for this the way it is. Could it be better with additional components, some upgrades? Perhaps. The Shield is night and day better as it provides a beautiful picture on my Samsung's flat screen. Hands down. If I was presented with these two options for myself, the NVIDIA Shield is the clear winner. It does not mean, however, that it was a god-awful experience for the Pi. It was able to keep up in a couple of categories, and the process of building it was really fun. Well, for me at least. It's a solution if you don't want to spend $200 and you have most of the parts lying around like I did. I do really enjoy doing these comparisons because as much as I do believe in the ability for DIY projects to far exceed their mass market counterparts like I have done with speakers and subwoofers, this is a different demon all on its own. If you want to try this, I have listed all of the components down below, and I want to know how it goes. So drop a comment if you end up doing it or you have done it, and it was a different experience for you. I hope you all enjoyed the video, and if you did, please jam out with the like button.
I like to play.
Subscribe to the channel to support my efforts and help the channel grow. And don't forget to ring the bell to find out every time a new video is born. With all that said and done, friends, I will see you on the next one. Take care.